Yo, what is up? We are back with a new video. The CS-52 is released today and you can get it in the marathon if you're willing to grind for it for the next 10 days or 14 days or whatever the marathon does. But the CS-52 always compared with the T-44-100. Of course, the T-44-100 is the big daddy of tier 8 medium premium tanks. Whether premium or tech 3 tanks, T-44-100 is the gold standard, and so the CS-52 is going to be compared well against it. And when you do that, it doesn't look like the CS-52 has anything better than a T-44-100. You can see T-44-100 has a lot more green than a CS-52, but what does the CS-52 have in over the T-44-100? First of all, standard penetration 208 versus 190 on the T-44-100. Also 70 more alpha damage, 320 alpha damage over 250 alpha damage. The only problem downside here is 2 seconds slower reload time on the CS-52. So that is the disadvantage here. 2 seconds slower reload time, but you get 70 more alpha damage. Now if you take a look at the model here, you can see around the gun mantlet there is a lot of armor, on the cheeks as well, a lot of armor here. You can see if you compare that with the T-44-100, you can easily pen the mantlet here, only 190 armor here. The sides are still pretty strong. The upper plate 140 plus all around, and a lower plate 130 plus. If you compare that to a CS-52, similar 140 plus on the lower plate, slightly thicker than the T-44-100. Upper plate though 10 millimeters more than the T-44-100. You're getting 140 plus 150 millimeters of armor. And if you look at the turret face around the mantlet, it is impenetrable. So the mantlet is really strong. The turret, you know, the side of the turret is not bad. You will bounce a lot of stuff, maybe not from a tier 9, but pretty good. Cupola is not that big, but bigger than T-44-100 cupola. You can see T-44-100 cupola is much smaller and much more difficult to hit. But again, this tank has got 70 more alpha, but gun handling, gun performance slightly worse, slightly slower reload than a T-44-100. In a 1v1 brawl versus the T-44-100, you're going to lose to a T-44-100, but if you can reload and take your time to snipe, you are going to beat a T-44-100. Also, the sweet thing about the CS-52 is the premium shells. The premium APCR shells has 1500 meters per second shell velocity, which is absolutely insane. It is like a laser, and you have 255 plus penetration, 10 millimeters more penetration than a T-44-100 with premium shells. Let's go straight into a game. Alright, if you are here for the first time, consider subscribing and giving this video a like. This is the best way you can help support my channel, and let me thank you in advance. Also, remember to leave a comment in the comment section below. What do you think about this tank? What do you think about the missions? This will give Wargaming some information on what you think. And now, I did some comparison on what kind of equipment that I used. The first game I played with an IRM. The second game I played with a vertical stabilizer, and you can see the difference between vertical stabilizer. The bloom is a lot smaller, and the gun handles a lot better. So in my opinion, I prefer using a vertical stabilizer over the IRM. Now we are riding with Ravi, another ANZ community contributor. He's got a good game here. We are in what's the name of this map? I forget, but we are going into the city and we are going ham in this tank. Now he's got the same setup, I presume, as I am, but before we talk about that, let's talk about the buffs that they have made with the CS-52 when it was released just a couple of days ago. When it was released to us, they buffed it slightly, with 720 horsepower engine over 620, which was published previously. They also increased the horsepower to per ton ratio to 19.68 from the previous published, which was 16.95. Also, gun depression increased from 6 degrees to 7 degrees, so you are going to compete directly with a T-44-100. I think they were a little bit worried that maybe this tank was going to be a little bit weaker than a T-44-100, but now you have almost exactly the same gun depression, almost the same kind of agility that you get from the T-44-100. It was slated to be a lot slower, a lot like the CS-52 in the Tech Tree, which is a really slow medium tank, you know. But when I started playing this tank, I felt like this tank has the agility comparable to a T-44-100. Not exactly the same, but you can feel it's almost the same, and it is not terrible at all. In fact, it is really good to play. I like that you have 320 alpha, 70 more alpha than a T-44-100. That's a lot of difference. Every shot you make, you are going to do 70 more damage. Now you can see our friend here, Ravi, he is firing only standard shells. Now if you are firing premium shells, you are going to get that 1500 meters per second shell velocity on APCR with 250 plus penetration. It is absolutely amazing. You're almost going to be guaranteed to pen every shot if you're firing premium shells. And if you are, let's say you're a try-hard guy, dude, this tank is going to be perfect for you, because if you don't care about credits, you just want to do a lot of damage and you just want to do the best that you can, this tank 320 alpha, imagine that, 320 alpha, 255 plus penetration, 1500 meters per second shell velocity. The shell velocity, the only thing that has shell velocity like this tank is the TL1 LPC, the offspring tank, which has insane shell velocity as well, just like this tank. Now this tank in a 1v1 brawl, when you are fighting with a T-44-100 and you are fighting with the reload time, the T-44-100 is going to reload 2 seconds quicker, so you might lose out there to a T-44-100 in that kind of situation. But in a situation where you have control of the fight, where you have a little bit of rubble to hide from, if you can do a little bit of side scraping, if you can do a little bit of, you know, hiding, if you have a place, a safe place for you to reload, you can fight with almost any tank. Look at our friend here. In 4 minutes, he's already done 2,661 damage, 1,292 spotting damage, and he has blocked 720. And that is pretty amazing. When this tank was slated for release, I didn't think too much about it. In fact, I was not incredibly excited about it. The stats were like, it's okay, it's not too bad, you know, 6 degrees gun depression. But just as they are about to release the tank, they decide to buff it slightly in terms of mobility, give it another 1 degree of gun depression, and just that slight buff has pushed this tank from being just a regular tier 8 so-so tank to becoming a very, very competitive tank. Now, is it going to be worth your time to grind the marathon to get it for free? Played for 10 days straight, 6 hours non-stop? I don't know. You've got to decide for yourself. If there is any tank that is worth grinding the marathon for, which is going to be worth your blood and sweat, this is going to be that tank. If you're going to sacrifice anything, or if you're going to sacrifice everything for one tank, I believe this tank is it. Yes, go for this tank. If you can get it free, do it. get it free, because this tank is going to be worth it. Leave a comment in the comment section below. What do you think? Are you going to grind it out? And remember, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, if you think I gave you some good advice here. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.